Damon, we did a segment that was called Black in America. And as part of that, we broke out some segments. One we did was Black athletes. It was right around the time when there's a lot of media about Black athletes going broke, making poor decisions. Being a former athlete, can you help us get into the mind? What happened? When you have all those tools, what is the problem?
You know, if I'm being honest, you know, it's not what is intuitive, and it's typically not what people focus on, what the real issue is. A lot of people like to focus on the tools that are available. If you utilize these tools, then you can balance your budget, manage your money, and have a long-term plan. Those things are all true. You know, as much money as most athletes are making, they should really be utilizing the tools, managing their money well, and then having an opportunity to be able to live beyond, you know, playing sports and live a very well-provided lifestyle. Why does that not happen? Why are guys not living in smaller homes and driving more modest cars and living within their resources, meaning that, you know, putting their principal away and taking the residual from that, the dividends, and then living off the dividends so they never break down their principal? That's what they should be doing, right? And why don't they do that? And I think the core issue is not the lack of tools or just a lack of trust. I think the core of it is really what's infected America. I think that, and I'll start way back, in my mind, the greatest generation of Americans were the Americans that went through the Great Depression, went through, you know, World War. They learned to live within their means. They spent only what they had. We've become a generation, particularly the baby boomer generation and beyond that, the X, the Y, the millennials, I would say, that has this more complex. We want it all, more, 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 and more. We can live on 90 cents of revenue and $1.20 of expenses. We can have it all. We can finance our indeficiencies. We can finance our insufficiencies. We can finance our inadequacies. We can look better, have more, drive a bigger car, live in a bigger home, and we can just finance, finance, finance. And what we found is that when we tried to have it all, whether it's at the state government in California, where we tried everything, all the social services that we have, with legal immigration, with, you know, we want to have the best schools, we want to have the best, you know, roads and bridges and water. We also want to have all these environmental policies. You can't have it all. You have to prioritize and have the things within the revenues that you have. And when you start living beyond your revenues, you start facing $20 billion budget deficits. Well, that's where each individual young person, I think, that are playing sports find themselves. It's a lust issue. It's an issue of saying, you know what, I haven't had much, so I want to go buy a bigger car, a nice house, and they're not weighing the long-term cost of that somehow the revenue stream that I have is finite, and yet these costs that I have are much longer and extend beyond just my playing career. So if I buy a $5 million home, right, you know, I may make $5 million this year, but that mortgage is going to keep coming over a 20, 30-year period of time. And now I've got $200,000 or $300,000 cars, and now I'm living, you know, I've got, Shay and Christy and Ray Ray, them all, you know, I'm giving them 20, 30 grand a month. Mm-hmm. And then I also at the same time am buying jewelry and clothes. Right. I'm spending another 10, 15 grand a month. You're living a lifestyle that as long as you're playing ball, you can finance that. But as soon as you stop playing ball, you have no revenue coming in, and you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. You can't sustain that lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, the core of that is a lust issue. It's an issue of saying, I want more, I want it all. And until we deal with that core issue, okay, you can give someone all the tools in the world, but they're still violating that and not listening to that because they want more.